All right, today we're going to go over an overhead mobility drill that is perfect for your pre-round warm-up. So today I'm using a 5-iron. If you can't do the full range of motion, you can use a little bit longer club, so you can try a driver. If that's still not long enough and you're still having difficulty doing the full range of motion, try a broom handle or even a dowel, whatever you have available to you. So the first thing that we're going to think about is whatever club you're using, you're going to want to pull it apart and create that tension through your arms, and you're also going to start to build tension through your upper back, which is going to be important while we go through this mobility exercise. So you want to get in about your 5-iron stance, so not too wide, about shoulder width. First thing you're going to do, again, pull apart the club. You're going to bring the club up overhead, and you're going to take a nice deep inhale through your nose, out through your mouth, and see my pelvis. I get a little bit of posterior tilt, my abs turn on, and I get a much more neutral spine. And then the second thing you're going to do is get into a 5-iron position. So that nice hinged position, again, keeping that flat back, clubs up overhead, and then you're going to bring the club down behind your neck, touching the bottom of your neck. And you're going to think about, if I put a grape in between your shoulder blades, you want to pinch that grape and squish it. So you're squishing that grape, and then you're going to continue to squish that grape as you bring the club back up. And then you're going to go through this about 10 to 15 times, again, keeping those shoulder blades pinched together. So the reason why we do this is twofold. So this is good for posture, if you're a C posture type of person, so you get that nice kind of curvature in your spine. This is good because if you try to do the exercise, you're not going to have the mobility to do the full thing. You have to have a neutral spine. If you're an S posture, so really hyperextended in that low back, that's why we combat that. Well, if you do the exercise in that big S posture, you're going to have so much compression on that low back, you're really going to feel it and have a tough time doing it. And the way that we combat it is right at the top, right? If you're an S posture person, you're going to want to be hyperextended. That's why we take that nice deep inhale, exhale, come into a neutral spine as you do the exercise. So the second part of this, and what this drill focuses on, is your shoulder girdle, right? Because that's what's actually moving through this exercise. So a lot of people talk about shoulder range of motion, which is important, but you can get as much shoulder joint range of motion, meaning where your humerus articulates with your scapula or your shoulder blade, as you want, but all that range of motion is going to mean nothing if your shoulder blade doesn't function properly, right? So your shoulder blade has to be able to retract, elevate, depress, and protract, and even do abduction, which is, if you think about this being my spine, my shoulder blades abduct and adduct. And through the golf swing, unfortunately, what a big compensation is instead of protracting and retracting and abducting and adducting, we elevate and depress, especially you C posture folks. So if you're C posture, you're protracted and your shoulder blades are elevated. So then when you go to do your golf swing, you're very limited in your shoulder blade range of motion, which will then limit your shoulder joint range of motion, right? So this drill really focuses on depressing our shoulder blades down, getting them nice and close to our rib cage, and then you're going to retract them as much as you can. So get them very close to the spine. That's why I say squish the grape. And then when you go up with your hands, you're abducting. And when you come down with your hands, you're adducting. So we're working on proper shoulder blade range of motion. So then when you go out onto the golf course, then you have proper shoulder range of motion and you can do a full golf swing. So if you practice this in your warm-up, that first swing, your shoulder's going to be working just as they should.